Well, here we are out at Jake's place. Welcome to another episode of the Average Pastor Podcast. I am Mark, and I'm here with some of my pastor friends. And I've got some sad news today, but also happy news. The sad news is, well, the good news, I'm still joined over here with Jake, and we got Ryan Hamby on today. So,
are you saying that's the sad news?
Yeah,
that's the sad news.
We should redo that intro, but we won't because we don't redo anything here. The sad news is, if you're listening, you will notice Jeff Dodge is not among us today. He's in Zambia, and he's you missed Jeff's laugh. Who's going to fill Jeff's laugh today?
Not me. I don't like my laugh.
You don't?
No, I'm insecure about it. So I'm going to try and,
try not to laugh the whole time. You just lost.
We're going to just take a clip of Jeff's laugh from a previous episode and just insert it.
Please.
Like overdub your laugh
with Jeff's laugh. And
we actually did that for his, when Jeff was, he led Salt Company back in Ames when, I cut out there. Yeah, there we go. Jeff left, he led Salt Company while I was in Ames, when I was a student, I would say. And when he transitioned to his new ministry, he transitioned out of Salt Company into the community side. We did a big surprise farewell, but it was on Thursday night. And we replayed video, showed pictures, did this whole, we kind of roasted him. And the roast was, his laugh was on a laughing track. And I think Todd Wallace was in the back, like hitting it at just random points through the night. I don't know how much Jeff loved that. But anyway, we do miss Jeff's presence and his laugh, his joy. Jeff is just, he is doing all of that in Zambia right now. And the thought of Jeff with his brothers and sisters, and
it sounds like a funeral, like sad news. Jeff is no longer with us, but he's in a better place and he's laughing.
And we have, so the good news, that was all a setup for the good news that Ryan is here, and I'm excited to have Ryan with us today. Yeah. So that's going to be fun. We were talking a little bit about marathons before. And Jake, I loved your take on that, because it's on my bucket list.
It is for you to run a marathon?
No, it's on my bucket list to never run a marathon.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, so far so good for me. That's my hope. But we were talking about, from Ryan, you were talking about just what was your take? Something about I could run a marathon at any point in my life until now.
Well, it sounds cocky coming out of context. I'm just saying my body is deteriorating as I age. That's what that was the point of what I was really saying.
Oh, okay.
If I went and tried to run.
You used to think that you could run a marathon without training. You could just,
just a skinny little dude who ran. Like, I think I could do it.
But you were actually a very good runner in high school, right?
Not very good.
Yeah.
I was.
Okay.
Because there is no point in my life where I've ever would have thought that. I could run a marathon.
My dad ran his first marathon at 60. And so I look at him and I'm like, I just want to I want to be like that. I don't want to run the marathon, but I want to be able to. And so I have a lot of respect for him. Yeah. Looking at that. Yeah.
Your dad, it's incredible how well he has aged with like sports. Like, Kip's amazing, like tennis or running or basketball. I mean, so you've got that in your genetics though, Ryan. So.
But and I just feel nervous because I feel like I'm wasting it. Like, I'm not stewarding it as well somehow as him. So I need the Kip playbook on how to age gracefully.
Yeah. Well, Jake, you were saying about the couch to what is it? The training, it's like from couch to you can get an app.
That's a program, like take you from the couch to a marathon or a half marathon. And I just thought starting at the couch was a little ambitious. Like, how about the bed still under the covers? Like, let's build up. I just jumping into that program a little bit too intense.
What's even lower than the bed? I mean, it's like from coma. Yeah. That's where.
Yeah, you still have the flu to a marathon. Like, it's have more realistic starting points.
What would the first training be?
You got to get to the couch. Let's build up.
Pick a movie marathon and get excited about that.
What would your first movie marathon be to get you out of bed into the couch?
Oh man, Lord of the Rings. It's a good.
You would,
They inspire
9 hours.
They inspire you to walk at least.
Yeah,
like those guys can walk
traveling.
a marathon.
They're a journey. I might be up for that.
So the first step in the app is just make one decision. Make a single decision.
Just
tell your wife you love her.
Get your feet on the floor.
Get your feet on the ground.
Day one. Say something positive.
Yeah.
Day one, you already got the app.
Matching pair of
Call
socks.
it a day.
Matching pair of socks. I like that. Get out. And what would your movie trilogy be? Like if that first step of the
app
is
you talking like motivation?
Yeah. Or just the thing that would get you excited enough to get out of bed and get on a couch and sit and watch.
I don't know what we're allowed to say or not say here, but it's John Wick every time. For better or worse.
Yeah.
But you're just talking. Well, you're just talking.
This
about
is
motivation.
the Average Pastor podcast. So you could say, John, if this was an amazing pastor podcast, you wouldn't want to say that one, but you're safe.
Keanu Reeves seems like a really nice guy.
Yes.
Not in those movies. Well, no, he's heroic in a way.
I honestly, I tried to. Well, I didn't get it. I didn't get John Wick. I don't think I got through the first one.
I don't think there's a lot to get. It's just
don't make my debut podcast me defending John Wick. Please just don't go here. Because I will.
Jake will do it for you though, because Jake, I feel like you like those revenge fantasy movies. You suggested a couple that I've been like, yeah, I mean, you could watch that.
Okay, not
that it was like
I could defend one. Can I defend one of them?
One. You're allowed to defend one.
Have you seen the movie Nobody?
Yeah. Nobody 2 just came out.
Yeah. So it's about this man who he gets robbed. Like somebody comes in his house and takes something. And it shows him like he doesn't have a great marriage. His kids don't really respect him. He didn't do anything to stop the robbery. And he's just like, what? His neighbor's like, well, they would rob my house, like he just kind of gets degraded as a man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he's like, I'm going to go get the bracelet or whatever was stolen. Well, you find out his past, like he was actually a pretty rough dude that was trying to leave all that behind for the sake of his family. But he kind of re-enters that world, and it actually like his marriage gets better. His kids begin, because there's a certain thing, like you swing the pendulum too far away from masculinity, there's consequences. Now it's a movie and he just goes and beats up a bunch of people. So you can swing it too far, but it does make an interesting point of like passivity is not helpful.
That's so
incredible.
It's so interesting. There was a guy that this week in men's ministry shared his testimony. And one of the cool stories he shared was just, he was in the checkout line or whatever. And this old guy drops his wallet. And the guy behind him, so the old guy's checking out, drops his wallet, hits the floor. The guy behind him grabs the wallet, and he fully expects like, oh, I'm just waiting for him to wait for the right moment to give it back to the old guy. But he doesn't. The old guy walks out, and the other guy takes off out the other side, and this guy has a decision to make. What am I going to do? It's kind of like that moment of, am I actually going to like chase this guy down and try to? So he ran after the old guy and was like, this guy stole your wallet. And then he takes off after the guy who stole the wallet, and he's chasing after this dude. And I think it's the whole time feeling like, I guess it's like a courage test, like what would I do in that situation? Like, would I really chase after it? So he's chasing the guy, and the guy trips on a curb. Stuff like flies everywhere, and then he ends up getting the wallet, and everyone, and the
guy was like, "You got me."
End of story. Right. It's like tag. This is funny. This is more than just you got me moment.
Yeah. So, and the old guy was trying to, give him some cash. Like, here, can I give? He's like, no, just, pay it forward. But it was that moment of, but he, I think he was saying it as like, it kind of did something to him. Like that as a guy, you want something to fight for, have the courage to fight for something.
So what would be your movie that would get you out of bed to go? So
I had this thing with, my daughter is coming of age. She's reaching the ages where we can start watching good movies, well, I mean, there's a lot of good movies you can watch, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, let me pick the movies. I think I can pick one. She's like, you're O for every movie you've ever tried to pick for me. This like I don't have a lot of hope in you. And I'm like, just give me one more chance. And so I picked The Bourne Identity.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I think that.
Did she like it?
She did.
Because I'm trying to make that suggestion to Rudy.
Really?
Yeah, we need to watch those.
No, that's a good gateway drug for the whole that it's like a portal into a whole world. That kind of suspense, thriller, action. And so, now of course she's downplaying it. Like, well, it wasn't that, it wasn't that good, but I picked another winner yesterday. Her and her friend were movie night and they're trying to figure out what movie. And I'm going through my IMDb list ratings. And I'm like, oh, School of Rock. She's like, I've never heard of that. And so I was a hero once again when I picked that for her and her friend.
Sure.
They did like that, but
that was a score for you.
That was a score, yeah.
Well, we started this with the marathon thing, which the movie comes to mind is Chariots of Fire. I mean, you got to go way back.
You've never seen Chariots of Fire?
It's my dad's favorite.
I think
I've seen clips.
Yes.
James, you've seen Chariots of Fire.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, you should check it out.
As a kid, I remember them playing, like, I feel like they played it at youth group or something.
It's John Piper's favorite movie.
If you ever want to know,
it's Dwayne. So we can definitely talk about Chariots of Fire.
You can definitely talk about your. Well, it's Eric Liddell, who's a missionary. His story. So if you ever want to know how far Hollywood's drifted, that won the Oscar.
Really?
Yeah. Was it 1977?
Yeah, I don't know what year, but yeah.
Wow.
You got to watch Chariots of Fire.
Really?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Iconic soundtrack too.
Okay.
Oh
yeah, of course. Yeah, that's.
I didn't remember the intro, but when you got to that part,
if you would have hummed one more line, we would have had to pay some royalty.
Oh, that's true. We're gonna get flagged.
What happened to our theme song?
Yeah. Apologies to our listeners. Our last episode, it went up and then it disappeared.
Yeah.
You had a theme song?
I was so confused because it said on the dashboard, like, it's published, but it wasn't showing up. It's like, what is going on? So I got on with support and they're like, oh yeah, your episode got flagged because of the theme song is copyrighted. And I was like, we have rights to it. Like, we have a music licensing subscription that we use, but it still got flagged. So I'm in an appeal process right now.
What was our theme song?
It's the...
You haven't listened to it?
It's really...
Dude, I can't even remember how it
But
goes
it's so perfect. And I feel like... Did you or Chris pick that? Chris, well done.
Yeah. Shout out Chris.
Yeah. And so I feel like...
The theme... I'm trying to think of the perfect
just like the
theme.
Intro music.
It was weird.
I'm hearing Pink Panther for some reason. Like, just some kind of...
What's the
I think Chariots of Fire would have been a good.
That should be.
That's what I think of.
That would be like an average pastor theme song.
Yeah,
is what you're thinking.
Some tuba solo or something.
Yeah, it's just like a nice, soft kind of.
You should probably find a high school band performance of something that's like, I could tell what that song was. That would be a
good average pastor.
Yeah,
I could tell what that is.
Tune.
Like a 8th grade band concert
like
version of it.
Like if you listen really carefully, it's like, oh yeah, it's that song.
Yeah.
Jake, last time I saw you, you were coming from a high school band performance.
Where was that?
You were at a halftime show for your daughter, right? She's in the marching band. And
you're going to share this for the world to know?
Yeah, dude. Did she listen to this?
No.
Well, sick. I mean, we said, like, how was it? Was it like, about 15, 20 minutes in, I realized I was watching the wrong.
I was cheering for the wrong kid. I didn't even know where my daughter was at. Someone was like, that's her. And I'm following this person all around and like, yeah, she did great. It's like, that's not her. I mean, you get the big hat and the feather and the uniform.
Right
I'm in the back.
Yeah. Did you get the right instrument?
Yeah, I think so.
You were following
great on the trombone.
Yeah.
Man, you were sliding that thing.
No, I got the right
watching
instrument.
the wrong kid. That's
the
great.
hats on, the feathers probably. That's hard.
Now, I felt kind of foolish about that, but I had to constantly tell Marcy which one Moses was when we were watching him play football, which I was like, he's right there, so it's not.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's
right.
They should wear numbers in marching band, maybe.
yeah.
Totally. And the different instruments would have like offensive line has to all wear a certain number.
Sure.
And, we could, that would help.
Yeah, your trumpets are in the, they're eligible numbers. You're probably in your 80s, you can catch a pass.
Mm-hmm. Different types of
tubas
pads and helmets for your different specialties.
Yeah, totally. Well, you know what got us on this whole thing? We're talking about aging, so yesterday I turned 49. I get one more year in the 40s and
wait, yesterday?
Yeah. That's my birthday. Thanks.
Did you do anything good?
We sang to him at men's study.
Yeah.
I think it's the most depressing version of happy birthday
because it's all these guys
at 6 a.m. singing in the lowest possible key.
Yeah.
Did you do
it was like a dirge.
Did you do anything?
What was my day like? I had meetings throughout the day. We filmed a video for California Church Plant. That was great. I hung out with Ryan. It was fun. And then it was like our last window to do some mowing. So that was
so no.
So I didn't do it.
It's really. Is food a thing for you? I
got to listen to like a podcast while I was mowing. I think that was
what a special day.
A special time.
Do you like hey, we're gonna have a favorite dish? Does Letha cook something, or you go out?
Letha made she set out some nice steaks, and Jet cooked some steaks.
Yeah. That's good.
That was great. Ava and Xavier came over and brought a gift. That was awesome. Kids all called me at different times. That was great. So it's fun to, just catch up with some of my kids. Yeah. It was a very satisfying day.
Yeah. But so how do you feel knocking on the door of 50? You said.
Yeah. No. Good. I mean, why I was interested in what you were talking about is you feel like you hit the whole marathon thing. Like there was a point in my life where I could have done it. Now I feel like if you did it, there'd probably be some injuries involved. But what are those mile markers like physically where it's like, oh, you hit this age, you're at the peak and it's downhill. And then do you feel like you can see mile markers along the way?
I don't remember where I read it. But there was a study that said there are a couple ages where age accelerates. It was like 44 and 60 something, where it's like, it seems like your aging really accelerates during those periods of your life.
And you can always look at your grandparents and parents as your most like what those mile markers will be. Do you think that's?
I mean, I'm probably in Ryan's, but my dad is.
Oh, your dad's he's a beast 70, out there.
So he's whooping me in pickleball, and that is not my path forward. I do not look at my dad and be like, "Oh, I'll be a healthy old man." Yeah, well,
Jake, I see in the pictures on your wall. We're out here at the Shire, your little Hobbit house out here. There's pictures of you with your dad when you were a freshman in high school. I'm like, that's a man right there. You're all like thick neck, big strong. Like when was the peak of your physical, athletic?
Yeah, college. I mean, just in the training you do for football, where it was kind of depressing because when I left college football to go into ministry, I'm still young, and it was kind of like, I will never be in that kind of shape again. And I just kind of embraced that. Yeah. And now I need to get back into better shape. But I'm in college.
Is it typical for athletes at that level? You're, Division I football, and it's kind of your life, and then you're out. Is there a for guys that get out of sports? Is there a pretty sharp decline? Do guys struggle with?
I think it's
with
different,
weight or different things because
I've seen like some teammates that were big offensive linemen, and as soon as their career was done, one guy got really into MMA and was just chiseled. Another guy got into running a lot, and it was different body type. And both those guys were like linemen in
college.
That's
cool.
I was a fullback, and anytime people say, "Oh, you played college football? Were you a lineman?" And I was like, "Oh, I went the other direction." And I can see how
were you a lineman?
Make that conclusion, but
so you're going to be 32, right here in a month or so.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, I got it. This is the
I got
peak.
it. Got what?
I don't know. It's like the peak of people's career. Late 20s, early 30s.
Well, not a career as a pastor. I remember hearing somebody say like the church. It's like I forget who it was, but they were pastoring the same church for a while. It was like maybe he's in his 40s. Like, hey, you put up with me in my 20s and 30s. Mm-hmm. You should benefit from me in my 50s and 60s. Mm-hmm. So I think in ministry, there's a certain sense of your peak of your career is probably when you have more ministry under your belt.
I heard that this old pastor, he said, you do your best work in your 50s because you've got still the energy of your youth with the wisdom of age. And in your 60s, he says you do a lot of your best writing and thinking.
Yeah.
And then.
So how does that make you feel that you're 2 decades away from really good work in ministry?
We were in the bathroom the other day at Veritas. A lot of good combos happening there. And I think Mark just said to me, "Oh, Ryan, you're going to be a great preacher someday." It's like the encouragement you don't know you need, Thankful for that.
You get those like passive aggressive
point,
not insults.
But
I had somebody come up to me a Sunday after I gave a message, and they were so sincere, and they're like, "I loved your message last week." I go, "Okay,
I appreciate it." And you didn't even probably remember what you spoke on last week, but so I feel like this, Jake, you just made an attempt at getting this conversation on the rails a little bit, like to something purposeful, which reminds me, we are all in risk today because Jeff is like the senior pastor. Jeff is it's almost like when the boss is away, the mice are at play, or whatever, what's the saying? And so I feel like we need a conscience today.
We're in danger of not talking about anything.
Yeah. The average pastor podcast.
Right. When you start to kind of drift and Jeff will give you that look.
Right.
Like, okay,
he usually gives me that pastoral nudge that, Mark, remember
Well, you asked let me finish kind of my answer to your question of how do you feel about aging? And there's obviously like the mourning of, I can't play like I used to play, but turning 32 within the month and having my first kid. My wife is pregnant. She's doing great. And that's a huge milestone of age for me of like, I don't really playing kind of takes a back seat at this point, right? Like how that's way more exciting than a pickup game of soccer probably.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at that being like, okay, my dad played with me, still does. I mean, oh my goodness, if I had just, called him up right now, he'd drive here and play tennis, pickleball, whatever. But now it's like my fitness goals are changing. Like, how do I just stay playful for like kids and grandkids?
You have new goals. I want to be able to get down on the floor and play with my grandkid without making painful noises.
I don't want to scare them.
Right.
Yeah.
Mark, I remember having a conversation with you when I was kind of going through just being self-conscious about getting older. Like, so I'm in worship ministry, which can be kind of it's a younger person's game. You see a lot of young worship leaders. You don't see a lot of old worship leaders. And I remember kind of processing that with you, just like in my role, like I'm going to like age out of this, right? Like, do I need to be kind of looking at what my next step, and you kind of stopped me and you were like, James, my assumption with you is that you're going to get better with age. And it's like the most obvious, profound thing, but I'm just like, it struck me in that moment of like, oh yeah, that is how it works. Like, why wouldn't I be thinking that instead of thinking like, oh, I'm getting too old for this.
Well, Marcy said something profound, which isn't uncommon for Marcy, that just kind of caught me off guard. You hear it within the church. You hear a lot of people, just in society, but specifically in the church, a lot of people talk about the frustration of getting older, whether it's aches and pains or, your youthfulness goes away. But you don't hear a lot of aging saints talk about the glory of getting older. I'm conformed more into the image of Christ. I have greater wisdom. I'm like, you don't have that. Like, I love that I'm closer to Christ now than I was 10 years ago. And it's unfortunate that maybe we don't celebrate aging in the church.
I feel like I have a lot of people in my life that are like that. I mean, my parents first and foremost, but I think of, we all probably have people in our life that we look to. And I think what Marcy's saying is absolutely true culturally. And even, maybe even in the church, sadly, that aging is harder for some people. But I do think there's a glory in it. That's a great thing is, what's the glory of aging, the crowned head, the gray hair is like a crown and just the age. I think this would be a great time to, before we will get to Ryan and his church planning story. There's
is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. Well, we got right, but first, I feel like this is a time to brag on Jeff while he's not here.
Love
I think we should talk about Jeff behind his back.
Yep.
And the thing is, I think of Jeff as somebody, Jeff and Teresa, of people who are increasing in glory.
Yeah.
Increasing in the glory and joy of Jesus. I really look to Jeff as just he's that example, James, of a pastor who is growing in impact. And I had this hilarious moment, you guys. I was up in Minneapolis speaking at their conference, and this girl in one of my talks I had mentioned, I was hanging out with Jeff Dodge, and and she's like, afterwards, we were just talking, and it was no big deal to me. Jeff Dodge, like that's just Jeff. We were friends and we worked together and we were doing so. And so I was talking to this girl afterwards in a little circle, and she's like, "Oh, I thought it was really funny when you were name dropping today." And I was like, "Name dropping?" She's like, "Yeah, you dropped Jeff Dodge's name, like
Jeff Dodge,
the Jeff Dodge." And to her, Jeff is a big deal because he's Gospel 101. I mean, they all go through his book.
He has towed the line of like, maybe you're not average anymore.
Oh, I mean, this has been months.
I met a random 24-year-old in California who was saying he came to Christ in Gospel 101 in a different part of the country before moving out to California. Like, it couldn't, and I just was laughing. I thought, should I name drop?
Oh man. So then you were going to name drop Jeff.
Jeff wouldn't have wanted that. That's what I thought.
Jeff wouldn't want it. He would disapprove.
Right. It is still a WWJD, D. What would Jeff Dodge do?
Yeah,
I mean, you have a lot of those moments.
Life. Yeah.
And but how would you, if you're going to brag on Jeff, he's not here, talk about him behind his back. And we know he doesn't listen to the podcast.
That was my question. Will he hear this or not?
You're saying.
Well, Jeff to me is just exemplifies the heart of a pastor. Like he cares deeply for people. He's genuine. His love for the Word of God is evident. Like he's genuinely excited about God's truth, and just a authenticity.
Would you say, if you looked up the definition of the average pastor, would Jeff's picture come up? Because I think of him as almost like the gold standard of, yes, the average pastor. I mean, think about it. Even right now, well, guys in his point of career could be speaking at conferences, being a big deal. Yeah. Jeff is in his happy place, Zambia.
Yeah.
With
Well, you're writing these like the advantage of average. You're working on like the average dad. I've been telling Jeff he should write The Average Pastor a memoir. Like just tell your story of ministering faithfully through the years.
Yeah.
I'd read it. I mean, he's
and I feel like we've all been reading it for decades and seeing it, and you would love. It's like written. The book is written on our hearts, and you'd want other people to read it. Actually, have a chance to read it. Like Ryan, what would you say if you're bragging on
Jeff? He has a rare ability to be able to like laugh. I know we're talking about his laugh being like contagious, but also just like his memoir would be full of like laughter as he wrote it. I feel like he wouldn't be able to stop laughing while he wrote his own memoir. Like, he's genuine. He's not like sugarcoating hard stuff in his life, but he just has the joy of the Lord. And honestly, just not taking himself too seriously, able to just laugh stuff off and hit. I was sitting with him in his fire porch last week, and it's just like a little hospital or something for your soul. It's like being there, especially as a younger man. It's like I needed this. I didn't know I needed this, but what I needed was like a blanket on my soul. Like a warm hug. And his laughter is kind of just for me the image I have in my mind when I think about Jeff. He was my first ever soccer coach, actually.
Really?
Yeah, when I was in preschool.
He's never played soccer.
Oh no, him and my dad had no idea what they were doing, but they were my first ever soccer coaches, and so
was it because his son was in soccer? Yeah,
we were classmates.
Yeah,
but
wow.
It's just Jeff is just joy, man, and seeing him and Teresa, like you're saying. I remember one time. This sounds a little silly, but it stuck out to me. When Teresa decided to stop dyeing her hair, she was getting some grays and she was coloring it, which whatever. So, but she felt convicted and was like, "No, I don't want that. Like, I want to let it go." And it's just like her pursuit of beauty in that way, in a cool, wise, biblical, strong way. It was like, oh, I hope my wife is like Teresa. That's so noble,
And I
so
think
beautiful.
that it's like that is discipleship. And when I think about Jeff, it's like where Paul says, we did not only share the gospel with you, but our lives as well. And I still remember Jeff reading that to us in Morocco before he left. We were doing a summer mission trip there, and he was there for like the first 2 weeks, and then he had to get on a plane and go home. And then Todd Wallace came and took his place. And anyway, Jeff, that's back when staff led mission trips. And so anyway, Jeff was in the hotel room with us, and he read that scripture and he was crying. And he's just like, guys, love these people. Love these. Don't just share the word. Share your life as well. And I think of that as just Jeff's legacy is that investment in people sharing their lives, sharing their living room, sharing their home, the number of people that have lived in their house. And, James, you married a Dodge, Audrey, and just what's kind of your own inside look. I mean, if anyone knows them, it's like would be family, and what's kind of
it's like, where do I even begin with Jeff? I mean, I think about, I might have been the first, one-on-one conversation I had with him that I can remember was, so I had taken Audrey on a few dates, and I get a call from an unknown number, and I pick it up, and it's like, "Hey James, it's Jeff Dodge," and immediately I'm like, "Oh crap!" Like, what is this gonna be? And he was just so warm, and so like I'm just so happy, and I'm praying for you. I don't want to be like, like he was the opposite of the dad, with the shotgun on the front porch, just like, so just encouraging in that moment. I thought like, wow, this guy's amazing. And so throughout, getting to know him better and being part of the family, I get to see just the family dynamic and how great of a dad he is. Man, just his relentless pursuit of like everyone in the family, down to the grandkids, just his, like, he loves and shows that in such an active way to everybody in the family.
I think that example of Jeff is really good because sometimes when people say the opposite of the dad with the shotgun, they think the dad who's passive and checked out and doesn't. But Jeff called. He made he enters into things, but with a love and a shepherd's heart. That's really unique.
Yeah, it's not passivity. It was strength, but it's a different kind of strength than the dad with the shotgun. Yeah. It's like more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was hard for him to kind of sit back and just watch, of course, because you're like, I mean, I'm going to feel that someday, but he was such a great example of just, okay, I'm going to trust you and be here for you.
There's a story that I was told that kind of is a picture to me of Jeff Dodge and what I see in him as a pastor is, and there's parts in Titus where it talks about the false, rebuke them sharply. And there's like a sharpness to rebuke at times when you've got to step in and protect the flock. That the biggest thing, a pastor is a shepherd. That's the word, is a shepherd of a flock. So there's that protector thing. There's that people are vulnerable and you're sacrificing yourself. And the story is, back in my at Kufal's cabin, there was. Have I told this story on the podcast? There was growing up, we'd go to my buddy Joe's cabin, and there was a dog that was chained to the tree, and I remember I was going up to pet it. It was at Joe's maybe his 8th birthday party, so I was a little kid at the time, and Joe's like, no, don't pet that dog. I'm like, why not? And he's like, that's a wolf dog. And I was like, what? And I looked at it and it had big, tall ears, and it looked like a Siberian Husky. It was bigger. What long legs you have, like the Little Red Riding Hood. And I'm like, oh, it looked like a wolf. And as he said, it's like, don't touch that dog. Well, so I found out years later a story. He told me this. So some people on the lake had this dog, a wolf dog, like it was whatever, like half wolf. It was wild. And people were, so a couple of times there were stories of people's animals were found like on the side of the road. This thing, when the wolf dog got loose. Well, the Kufals had a big 4th of July party. This is a whole family comes, and there's kids and grandkids out, and they're all running around. And Joe's mom, Sally, gets a call. The wolf dog is loose from the owner. Like, our dog got out of the house. And all of a sudden, their golden retriever, I think the dog's name was Bo the golden retriever, just the sweetest. I mean, everything a golden retriever is. Joe said, this thing went busting out of the house, like knocked the screen door out, ran out. All the kids are playing. This dog runs out to the edge of the lawn, and its back like curls up, and its tail was like straight up in the air, and it starts growling, and it sees the wolf dog is coming at their family and all these kids. And Bo, the golden retriever, is there to protect the family from this dog. I mean, it was like this epic moment where you feel like the golden retriever is going against its very nature, but when there's a threat, all of a sudden it's growling, showing its teeth, and I feel like that's Jeff. I have seen him step in front of, there was back in the mid 90s when he was leading SALT, there were these false teachers that came and in the middle of the service stood up and started yelling, and they were yelling like scripture from Jeremiah. They were like cult leaders, and they were leading a cult, and some students were getting involved in it. And in the middle of SALT, they stood up, and Jeff pulled these guys aside. And it was like after he told them to sit down, and afterwards they got in this big, and it was like Jeff raising his voice and silencing these guys. And we actually called the cops, and the cops had to come get him. But it was like, I have seen him, basically have those moments of, hey, when the flock you're coming after all these college students. I've really seen that in Jeff. And so I just am thankful for that that tension of grace and truth in his life. And I don't know, feels like we're eulogizing Jeff.
We started out that way. Yeah, he's in a better place. He's no longer with us.
Oh my word!
Here's to Jeff.
Hell yeah, I could be here.
Jeff is something else.
Okay, talk about Africa Jeff.
Africa Jeff. I got to go to Zambia with him. This has been over 10 years ago now. But it's hilarious and awesome. He just comes to life it's like heightened Jeff. Like we went on this like safari trip where, you get to see some wildlife. It was awesome. We got to see hippos, but there's a point where there's like a pack of baboons around a tree. And these things are like vicious. Like I'm afraid of these things. And he and Marlon Rice, who's, he's an older guy too. And Jeff's like, Marlon, let's charge these baboons. And me and Josh Mockelstad, we're a couple of younger guys. We're like, what are they doing? And they just go charging into this band of monkeys, and the monkeys like disperse. I'm just like, what are they doing?
And so Jeff and Marlon, while we're talking about, if you think Marlon, picture Indiana Jones. He literally has a hat like that. He's this old
bugs under the hat.
Oh yeah, he's a retired entomologist, and he goes and he's finding snakes. He gives the kids. He shows the kids pictures of bugs that he wants, and then he'll come back the next time, like a year later, and he's like, okay, where are my bugs? And he'll hand out sweeties. He calls them to like Jolly Ranchers and stuff to these kids, and he gets all these like very rare beetles and bugs. And anyway, so Marlon's amazing. You called him the walking safari, I think. When we were in Zambia with
that's
him.
Great. Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah.
He's the best.
It's okay. So Marlon, we're camping by the Zambezi River. We're in tents. I wake up at, I'm going to say 2 a.m. and I hear this thrashing. I hear, it sounds like a bulldozer.
Are you going to say what you did in the moment?
Yeah. A literal bulldozer moving through the camp. And I'm so confused. Because I'm confused. I'm scared. I've got Jet is there in the tent with me. And I'm like, what in the world is that? But I'm also like kind of half asleep, kind of like, is this really happening? And so I like put my noise canceling headphones in and put on Lord of the Rings. I'm like, I need to tune this out because I don't know what's happening out there. I don't know what was going on. And we wake up the next morning. I wake up, I go out all by myself and walking around. One of the park guys is like, hey, you need to stay away from here. There's been an elephant in the camp. We get to breakfast and Jeff and Marlon come out of their tent giggling like 2 little school children. And they're like, oh, you'll never believe it. We got charged by an elephant last night. This camp, of course, they have not had an elephant sighting in years in this camp. Of course, the night that we are staying out there in tents, a rogue elephant comes through camp, just destroys. Like there was the fence that was just total. It was like a live bulldozer. And this thing, they have a video of them. Marlon is like, Jeff, get closer, get closer.
Gotta get a good picture.
He gets within like, I'm going to say 10 to 15 feet of this elephant. And it starts, and Marlon's back there filming the whole thing, and it starts charging him. And you see Jeff like running and stumbling over this thing. And there's like this little, I don't even know, like a wash basin that like ended up protecting him from the elephant as they were backing away. And this thing's like doing the whole, it's kicking the dirt and it's doing the whole, that whole, its trunks and it's kicking dirt at him. And they are just laughing about it the next morning. I'm like, Jeff, you cannot ever do that.
Pray for Africa, Jeff.
Oh man.
Hopefully he's on the next podcast.
We could do like a different season every trip that they go and just follow him around.
Man. Africa Jeff.
He has that one sermon. During a sermon, he showed a video of he's on the back of a Jeep and an elephant is maybe 20 feet from him charging them. And he's just filming it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the sermon illustration was, but fear of God, but it's great.
Oh man. Jeff. Well, he'll be back, and we'll hear about all his adventures from Africa. Okay, we'll turn the chapter on that. But we got Ryan here, which is an opportunity to talk about what God is doing in Ryan's life. And man, I would love to hear just a little bit about. You just got back from a vision trip out west in Santa Barbara. Where do we begin the story? Talk about that trip and what God did. So for those that may be first time listeners or here's basically Ryan. I'm a quick bio. Ryan and I met back in. Well, we probably knew of each other. I knew that you existed in when you were a kid growing up in the Ames area and stuff. But I think we first really met in the remember that hall in the Marriott when we had it not in the ballroom but that other exhibit hall or whatever. Yeah. And I remember meeting you. You were with your mom, and you're like, "Hey, I'm going to school out in California, but I'm thinking about transferring into Iowa."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "No way, that's crazy!" And you did. You transferred to Iowa. Was it 2012?
January of 13 is when I came back to Iowa. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so, so you came back to Iowa, and you've been here since then. So it's coming up on 13 years. And but in that time, God has moved in your heart. You've led Salt Company, you've led youth ministry, you've done a bunch of different things, and now God's calling you to plant a church in Santa Barbara. Mm-hmm. And so you just got back from a vision trip. Would love to hear about that.
Man, yeah, it was a great time, and it's been a great 13 years. It's kind of the coming of age stuff. It's like having a baby, just got married, about to sell our house and become a pastor all with just in a few months. And it's crazy, man. But the trip was, dude, God just blessed it. Like he went before us in so many ways we couldn't have planned. Cause when you're planning, how do I show 25 people around a place that I don't live, cast vision for them to move with us? It's impossible. You can't do it. I've been there, so many times, but still, it's not my home yet. And I don't know what to show them. God's going to have to make this, this planning great. He's going to have to actually show up and do something. And he did. I think a great picture, right? So we're sitting there Saturday night. We were there Thursday through Monday, and we're sitting there Saturday night, and the people in that room, the amount of stories that I was just highlighting was just hilarious. Like,
can I hit pause right here? And so you said, and we're in that room. You're in a living room of a couple in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
Can we rewind and say, what were the events leading to that moment? Like, because in there is like, why Santa Barbara? Why this random place?
That's why I'm out west. That's what I'm saying. That room had all of those answers in it with the people in there. And I think like our big idea that we just had to kind of laugh at what God was doing, because the living room was owned by our friends Kyler and Candace Gabriel, who Jake knows.
They were on our staff for a while.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Kyler is a Santa Barbara native, right? Grew up, not too far from Oprah, and he
went to Santa Barbara High School.
Went to Santa Barbara High.
Santa Barbara. Yeah.
A great runner.
Came out to go to Cornell.
Yeah, he thought, why not go from Santa Barbara, California to Mount Vernon, Iowa to pursue collegiate athletics? And he did. And it was there that he, heard about Veritas Cedar Rapids, caught wind of the Salt Company thing. And when he started going, that's when his heart like caught fire for Jesus.
Wow.
It was just a hilarious, random, like, how did he find himself?
And can I just say how hilarious Veritas Cedar Rapids role in this church plant?
Yeah.
Like the most, because Kyler is such a big part of the whole story too.
And Kyler, talk about an average dude. Like this guy is just the cream of the crop of that.
Yeah.
He's wonderful. He is so humble.
Kyler loves Jesus and loves serving. And
my word. Yeah. He's been a great friend. And so as he was jumping on, Salt staff in Cedar Rapids, we'd get to know each other through conference stuff, hotel rooms, all that. And he's like, had this itch, right? I want to go back home. I want to go live on mission in Santa Barbara. And he met his wife, Candace. She was leading worship at your church. And she's Candace a Cedar Rapids girl. They had a couple kids at that point. Like, I think we're going to go back.
Wow.
And me and him have already talked a bunch. Like, man, that's something I've been praying about too. What are the? He's just like, dude, you guys gotta come. You know, it was such a funny friendship. Now we're sitting in their living room. Candace is leading worship that night alongside Grant as we're just like filling that room with songs and opening our Bibles together. And I can just, go on and on about all the doors literally that he's opened for us. He's in property management out there. He's just paving a way as he's faithfully serving at another church. They're blessing him to come over and help us get planted. And
unreal. And tell us about some of the other people in that circle. Who's there?
So that was our first good laugh, was just talking about what are we doing in the Gabriel's living room. Well, the only people there who were over 31 was your sister and her husband, right? Barbie and Donnie Ray. I told them I can't wait for my little boy or girl to call them Uncle Donnie and Aunt Barbie. Man. And that just, that gets me excited. Crazy. That's the kind of people they are. Like, you want them to be a part of your family. And over the years of visiting them, I used to go, since I transferred back, I've been back 10, 20 plus times. Just like, I love it over there. But eventually you were just like, oh dude, why don't you just go stay with my sister up in Ventura? I was like, oh, free lodging. Totally. Well, it was more than free lodging. Like that place was like, oh my goodness, this is home. Like, these people are it. Their hospitality, their joy. I mean,
Barbie is one of the most hospitable, joyful people you could meet, and Donnie's awesome.
She can't tell a sad story, because when she tells a serious or sad story, she's always like smiling or laughing. And that's like hard for us, the listeners, to take it seriously, even if it's really dark. So we always kind of bust her chops like, Barbie, don't laugh while you tell a sad story.
Well, it's crazy, Ryan, because my sister moved out in the mid 90s, maybe 94, moved out there. My youth pastor, Ed Noble, and he was I call him my spiritual mentor. He moved out. He's from Southern California, moved out to take a church job out west. And so my sister moved out there and followed them. And so anyway, I had always ongoing connection with Ed and their family and my sister. And so I almost, like, my senior year prayed about, there was a lot of just fasting and prayer, and where should I go to school? Should I stay in Omaha? Should I go out west to school? Or should I go to Iowa State? And it was really like, it was kind of close, like, what should I do? And I remember I'm just going to go this way and trust God with it. And, since Barbie and her family had been out there, nephews and niece that ended up, a niece and nephew that went to school in Santa Barbara, one at UC Santa Barbara, one at Westmont. My heart has just, over the last, 30 years of just like wondering, man, how do we get out here? How do we, and then when all of a sudden you came with a heart there, and so I just laugh at that living room, because I'm like,
totally, what
are these people? How do we have these connections and people it's not like we just randomly look at a map and say, how about here? And it just happens.
It's a place, of course you want to go there, but you got to ask, like, should I? Right? Like, is God in this or not, is really what we've been trying to figure out for a decade. Like, I don't want to just go do this rogue cowboy, like, church planning thing where I'm going to just pick a spot and do I'm a part of Veritas.
The other
and
the other person that's in the living room is your pregnant wife. What was her story?
Hilarious.
Somehow she was.
Well, me and her both just, before we were ever together, spent time out in Southern California, and both had the exact same experience. We loved it. We don't even know how we got pulled
What was
back
Ellie
out.
doing out there?
Working with the Kardashians and stuff.
Like, literally?
Yeah, like literally. She would hate if I even said this, but
what did
she actually? She listens to this podcast actually. So
be careful. Yeah,
be careful what I say.
What was her role?
She was a publicist. So, like, one time,
dude,
Jake, one
time, some of our listeners don't know what a publicist is.
Don't put me on the spot like this, man. She was like a
coordinator. Is it like a coordinator?
This is so
for
bad.
really,
okay, I've practiced this. She was like the middleman between like a company and like the talent. Or like, okay, so for example, like Hulu had like the Kardashians, right? So the Kardashians are the talent. Hulu is like the parent company. Well, her firm or, her publicist firm would like step in the middle and say, we're going to set you two up. Hulu, Kardashians meet each other. Now we're going to be like on site helping this
like
go
a sports
well.
agent.
Yes. One time we were watching a Pizza Hut commercial and she saw Micah Parsons on there. He goes, oh, yeah, I know Micah. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, Pizza Hut was one of our clients. And she likes to kind of flex that sometimes. But she's not like that. She doesn't actually care, but
no.
Sometimes.
Was there, I watched American Idol. Didn't she do something with it?
Yeah, American Idol was a hard job. Those were crazy hours.
Really?
So she kind of got burnt out.
What did she do for American Idol?
I don't know. Like, I mean, it's kind of, she was a publicist.
Shouldn't I say that?
Publicized.
Say no more.
I already said that. But they were nice people there. But it was just like a lot
Ellie,
of running around and doing stuff. I'm going to get in trouble for this.
Okay, but I'm just going to brag on Ellie for a minute because that is never the presenting issue of her. Like how probably embarrassed she is. Because and here's what I love about both of you guys. You said this about somebody when we were talking about the lure of celebrity pastor and fame and all the things. And you said something, I think you said it about Donnie, my brother-in-law. You said he's impervious to hype. Like when we talk about, we always joke about don't get on the hype train, like, oh yeah, just jump on and get on our little hype train. And we kind of make fun of that. And you're like, oh, you don't have to worry about that because he's not on the hype train. Right. I feel like you and Ellie, I would also describe as impervious to hype, like impervious to the lure of the ring. Yeah. Like when it was, I think it was, Beck was younger when I started talking to him. We've been talking about California for years, and he said, I was talking about Ryan, talking about planting a church in California. He's like, yeah, Dad, but is he average enough? That's a pretty cool place. Is he
still confuses me what he meant by that? But
is it going to go to your head? Yeah. Are you going there for the cool California stuff, or are you just a humble, faithful pastor?
You're going to be a pastor.
Are you going? Are you going because it's cool and it's hype train, or are you going because you're a pastor with a heart to reach these people? I think that's what it was his probably 15-year-old self, like his version of the average pastor stuff, that's been imprinted on their hearts, and so anyway, and I think you are average enough for Santa Barbara. And when I think about you, I think about Austin and Ellie Claver over in San Sebastian, Spain. And it's so interesting because I went on a vision trip to Santa Barbara and then to San Sebastian in that semester. And it was just, it's hilarious because
it's disorienting. You didn't know which one you were in.
It's like they're the same, like even San Sebastian, Santa Barbara, both like Spanish names and coastal towns and some of the most temperate.
Is it part of Veritas Iowa City's strategy to send uncool people to cool places? Is it like, if you find an uncool place, you need to find a cool person? But
what does it say about Cedar Rapids and you, Jake?
I'm pretty cool. That's what it says. It's like, you're in Cedar Rapids, you must be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I get that all the time.
You're doing it's like ministry purgatory. Like you're Jake, this is a hilarious moment. So Jeff Thune and I were pastors together back. We got on a plane, went down to, God was doing some stuff in Cedar Rapids. We went down and visited Jake and Marcy. And I remember you're like, basically Cedar Rapids, you're like, hey, Marcy and we're like Walmart people. So I think you were worried that Cedar Rapids was too cool for you guys. And you're like, hey, I just want you to know, we're not like you Iowa City people. Like we're more like, I like hoodie sweatshirts and jeans and like Walmart.
I'm not joking. I don't think Santa Barbara has a Walmart.
No, that's not surprising.
They would never let Walmart into that.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
That's not cool. Oh,
but Jake,
that sucks.
Okay, so back to Ryan and Santa Barbara. So Ryan's here. Let me ask this.
What's your timeline? Tell people like when you're.
We're hoping to move out in March.
Yeah.
Next fall, September, classes start. We'd love to kick off Salt Company then. And
Ryan, you got to tell the story about Sunday night.
Right. Yeah. So
living room Saturday night.
The living room, just all those people in there, even like the students or friends we brought along with us, like their connections to the area. It just, God was going before us, right? We were talking Deuteronomy 6 a lot. Like, you're going to go into this land that you didn't win for yourself, and you're going to live in houses you didn't build, and drink from cisterns you didn't dig, eat from garden. When you enjoy these things, like just remember me, like you don't get to take credit for this. And that was our boast that night as we were worshiping, was like, we don't get to take credit for what God's about to do.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be here. That's the funniest part, but we're here. And the trip, that was a really good moment in the middle of the trip, but the bookends of the trip were incredible. The first night, I don't know if this was the best or the worst pastoral decision I could have made, but I was like, guys, we're going to campus on a big party night. We have to see what's going on down there, right? UCSB ranked #1 party school in America. I don't know what that means, really.
I just know that when we were in the early 2010s, the University of Iowa was upset because Iowa was #1.
Yeah.
And then we were overtaken by UCSB.
Totally.
Do you remember that?
That was the first time I heard of UCSB, because I told Drew Stevenson, I was like, dude, here's our church planning strategy. Just go down this list. Well, and #2 is UCSB to #1 being Iowa. Yeah.
Do you think I know what #3 was?
Arizona State, probably.
Yeah. Really?
Look at that. Yeah.
That's you. Yeah. What is that symbol? It's like a game.
Pitchfork.
The pitchfork. Okay.
Yeah. For
Sun Devils.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to the Friday night Del Playa.
Yeah. We go to, we didn't know exactly what we were getting ourselves into. We've seen pictures of Del Playa, this party street on the top party school in America. But what we didn't know is the cops canceled Halloween at UCSB because it was too much. And
you came dressed up and felt out of place.
So no, not quite. So we weren't there on Halloween, but they had to move Halloween 2 weeks earlier because, on the dates of Halloween, they're like, no parties allowed. So they're like, oh, let's just do Halloween early. So we walked into a Halloween party not knowing.
Oh,
right. The opposite. Thousands and thousands of drunk college students filling this one street on the edge of the ocean, overlooking the ocean. Houses. They don't have bars there. They have houses where there's you don't need bars. Every house is a bar. Surfboards and wetsuits everywhere. Just people just living it up.
So it would be like if our Ped Mall was house parties or something like that.
Yeah.
Instead of bars.
And I don't know, there's nothing new under the sun. We've seen brokenness. Sometimes I'll drive through downtown Iowa City on a weekend, out of my way, just to remind myself what we're doing there.
Yeah.
And just to feel a little bit. Well, this was a lot of feeling. This was I'm looking at our people that we brought, their faces, and they're just, I saw just me. I saw 3 people get carried out in ambulances as the ambulance is trying to make their way through the crowd.
What's your ministry approach when your mission field is such the hedonistic dream? Southern California, on the ocean, young college kids seemingly to living the dream. Do you have a perspective and trend okay, that's the mission field?
Yeah. Well,
are they tasting the emptiness of, okay, you seem like you're getting everything the world would want. So are these people on the front line of knowing how unsatisfying that is? Or do you feel oh no, we have to work uphill because they have it so quote unquote good?
That's what we've been told. That one. As we've talked to ministry leaders there, it's people are comfortable. How do you convince them that they're empty, right? And I think that's the Spirit's work, but I think our job in that is distinction. I know you guys are going through Daniel right now. That's a big theme in there. Just thinking about, we don't want to look like that party, right? That's not appealing. For us to try and flaunt some cool factor that we manufacture is that's not cool. That's not
your strategy. Is not let's go there and be cool.
No. I was walking around Ellie was like, I have never felt so insecure being pregnant in my life. Like we stuck out.
Your pregnant wife down Del Playa.
We're just walking. I'm holding her hand. I'm bald. Like she's pregnant. We're like, dude, we are just not like everybody
fully
here.
Embrace, tucked in khakis. Just go full different. But I think what's really cool is when you look at a place that's maybe so hedonistic in a secular way, to go and show that real pleasure and joy is found in Christ.
Right.
Like you go to the front lines of pleasure,
and
it's like no, it's here.
Wow. I think like that C.S. Lewis quote, you're like mud pies in the slums.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's meant by
it. It's just the world's best mud pies is what we saw.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. And we do know we're seeing this from a cruise ship. And I think if you're talking like strategy, I mean, dude, we're just going to have more fun than them.
Yeah.
Also, like, I think that's actually
sure. But when you say that, I think what somebody might misunderstand is we're going to a party school and we're going to be Christians who just have more fun. Like, Ryan, you're so good at genuinely walking with God and enjoying closeness to God. And I think that's going to that's the front lines you need to be on, where it's not like, how do we be like them, but not like them? I think you have a distinctness in joy is found in Christ. Yeah. And I'm comfortable with that reality. I live in that reality. And I think I'm excited for that contrast to be shown on that campus.
I appreciate that. I do. I think, that image of being there on Del Playa, it stuck with me. Obviously, I've been thinking about it every day, and it just kind of it's a fork in the road, especially for the students we brought. We already committed, we're going wherever. But for was it a good or bad pastoral move? I don't know, but it was definitely a fork in the road of, do I want to come minister here or not?
Yeah,
and for some, I hope. Here's my hope that very few of them will end up coming. That's okay, but I hope they don't not come because of fear of man. Yeah. I want them to stay in Iowa City because they're called to stay in Iowa City and God has something that they're excited about there. I don't want them to not go to Santa Barbara with us because they're afraid.
Yeah.
And just the contrast, I mean, the bookends of this trip, which is, I know you're wanting me to get to this, Mark, of we started off on Del Playa with the temptation to fear people. And we left with the complete opposite experience. And so
almost like a pity of these people are lost.
No, like I'll explain it. But we had this, during the day, obviously we saw the city, hiked, surfed. The surf was great. I mean, lots of fun stuff also, but these nights were iconic. Del Playa, living room worship. And then finally the bookend of, we got invited to this other ministry. They wanted to feed us dinner. And, that's really nice. I've been praying that people would roll out the red carpet, that we would feel welcome, which we have. I just kind of figured this would be a little awkward. I thought it would just be a husband and his wife and their pastor were going to play football with us at a park. And I kind of was apologizing to our team a little bit on the way there of like, guys, I'm so sorry. This is probably going to be really awkward, but we're going to bring the heat. Let's bring the party. It'll be fine. Have a good attitude. I'm sorry. But we roll up to this place, Jake, and it's their church offices. And I see 3 spike ball nets set up and a pickleball court that they made and a volleyball net set up. I'm like, oh, they really want to have some. Oh, they're going for it. And it wasn't 3 people that walked out to greet us. It was an army. I was like, whoa, they're all name tags on. They're handing us smoothies from this local place. Like, you got to try these. They were ready to go.
Sweet.
Their hospitality.
I think you said we were attacked with hospitality.
Oh, it was violent.
This is another church in the area that's excited for you guys to be there.
So you've heard of the Acts 2, this movement.
I have heard of it.
Ed Kang he's oh
no, I'm like, yeah,
I have heard of Acts 2.
I've read that. It's good.
I've read Acts 2. No, okay. I have read that.
What are you talking about?
It used to be called Grace Point.
And this the guy Ed Kang started this. They actually just I think purchased property. They'll harvest stuff over in Chicago, and they had Troy come out and speak. And Troy sent me a video of There's like 3,000 of them at their conference. I don't know if it's an annual conference, but Troy spoke and he had a video of them praying over him. But at one point, didn't they somehow show a picture of Troy?
So I'm so glad that Troy did that. Troy and Rudy and maybe some others went to their national conference because they talked about Salt Company and kind of what they were about, what we're about. And that got the Santa Barbara Acts 2 church really excited because they heard, wait, they're coming here? And instead of like shelling up and being like, oh, we need to build walls and shoo them away, we don't need them. The complete opposite, man.
That's awesome.
Like I'm telling you, attacked with hospitality. They sat us down and they told us, we love what you're about. Yeah. We love what you're doing. Every single person I saw around the room was like double or triple teamed by one of their people and just like getting to know us, getting like just loving on us. The food was great. The conversation was better. They throw me up there just like, hey, Ryan, share like, what are you guys doing here? And they throw up this picture of Troy Nesbitt behind me as like, this is like the godfather of this. And I got a picture of it. I think Chris sent it to me, but I can't wait to show Troy that of like, he was the backdrop for like the sermonette I was giving. Like it was just, it's great. They loved Troy. And after I got to share a little bit, they wanted to pray for us. And they got us into small groups and I knew they were serious because they hit the lights and they played music. And I was like, oh, we're really going for it. And next thing you know, this pastor and his wife are praying over Ellie and I for like 30 minutes probably. I mean, I'm on the verge of tears. Like I'm just feeling so filled up by this. And we get all done. I'm like, wow, all right, ready to go home. And he says, no, Salt Company, go stand in the middle of the room. I'm like, wow, this is weird. And so they make us go stand in a circle facing outward in the middle of the room. And they, with their little hospitality army, surround us and like facing in. It looks like we're about to play a game of like Red Rover or something like that. We're all like kind of joking. Like,
so you're facing out and they're facing you.
You got a picture. You see it. It's like, what game are we about to play? It's like a speed dating game. I don't know. And their worship leader gets up there and just starts letting it rip. They're like, we do this thing when we send out people to go plant churches or live on mission. We just sing the song, The Blessing, over them. Like, the Lord bless you and keep you. Have you heard that? Yeah. And they just start singing it at us. And they're throwing their hands out at us. And I'm just like, it's like just a wave of God's spirit. Like his face was shining on us. And I start throwing my hands back at them because like, no, you be like, you guys be blessed. And I'm looking around the room and it's like these 20-something-year-old dudes from this church. They're just hunched over, almost like gritting their teeth. Like, God bless this Salt Company that's moving out here.
That's cool.
And I just started bawling, dude. I was such a mess at that point. Like, all right, picture time. Come on in. That was great. But I'm telling you, like, the temptation to fear just capped off. Temptation to fear at that party street with just like, what in the world are we going to fear besides the Lord?
Well, when you were talking about that party street, what came to mind is the parable of the prodigal son. And, it gets to the point where he's eating pig slop, but he didn't like want his inheritance to go visit a pig farm. Like he wanted wild living. Like he wanted to like that. That's where prodigals go in a sense of they're chasing something, but where that leads is pig slop. And having you guys in that context to point people back to the Father when they finally realize that's not satisfying it's
exciting.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good word.
It's
wow.
And that's what you want is all of our strategies, all of our methods, all of our ways of doing church. Isn't it just about that moment?
Oh man.
That's
I sure hope so.
Yeah. That's the Lord saying, I am in this, and the blessing, the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. You've quoted Psalm 67 so many times. Yeah. God will bless us. And when God blesses us, the ends of the earth, then the land will yield its harvest, and God, our God, will bless us. God will bless us, and the ends of the earth will fear him. And let the peoples praise you, O God. all the peoples praise you. And I see that in you, Ryan, and I'm so excited to be a part of that. And we had our first like advisory team meeting with one of our elders and Donnie from California, and we're on Zoom. He's at 5:45 his time, and we're 7:45 our time, and it was crazy because already it felt like one of our elder meetings.
Yeah.
It was just I'm like, what are we doing? How is this happening? And God is doing something. And that was my theme verse in coming to Iowa City. I've told the story many times, sitting in Cornerstone's empty auditorium that hadn't opened yet. And Isaiah 25:1 was the verse. O Lord, you are my God. I will exalt and praise your name, for in perfect faithfulness you have done marvelous things planned long ago. And just God's reminder, you're not going to go anywhere that I've not already been. And I just see God going ahead of you.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what God's going to do. And I do think you have that right amount of faith and wisdom. Like charting out the income, like, okay, it's expensive, the practical stuff. Like, yeah, our church is all in. And I'm hoping after this, Jake's going to be a little more all in on this.
Cue Jeff's laugh track right there.
Yeah. But not just that, but just the hilarious ways that God is already providing that living room, people that are going to be going with you, your staff team. And so we're just going to stay tuned and we'll get you back on the other side of it at some point to just laugh about God's faithfulness and give glory to him. So one of the great quotes came out of us, best mud pies in the world. What was the quote there, James? What
Yeah. Santa Barbara, I think biggest mud pies in the world, something like that.
I don't think that's what I said, man.
I don't know.
Biggest and best.
Yeah, best. Anyway, so yeah. Well, we're going to be back. We're going to be back for another round, another episode with Ryan while we got you here. But Jake, I want you to, you did, I think already kind of give a word of exhortation to Ryan, but I would love for you to go round two on just like one average pastor speaking to another aspiring average pastor on just like, what's your word to Ryan, as he goes and just going in the courage, boldness of the Lord, and just, I don't know. Do you have any kind of word?
I mean, I think what comes to mind in that when you're going to a new place, and it can be both fun and distracting when you think of missiology and how do you do this and what's our strategy, and just simple faithfulness, preach the word, love and pursue people, share the gospel. Christ is faithful to his word. And he will show himself faithful as we follow his plan. So don't overthink it. Simple power of the gospel is where you need to be.
The gospel, it's the power of God for the salvation.
Yeah.
All who will believe. And Ryan, this weekend, you're going to have a chance to preach the word at Veritas, Luke 12. And I feel like that even is kind of God speaking to you about fear.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you who you should fear. Don't fear the one who,
Yeah. As you reference it, Romans 1:16, with the power of the gospel. Don't be ashamed. They're there living it up, thinking they found the life. Don't go in there unashamed of the gospel, because that's where true life is found.
Yeah. That's a good word. Well, yeah, I think that we always do this somehow in the Average Pastor podcast. We meander our way
to it
into something meaningful and redemptive. And I love that. I hope that if you're listening, that you have found some encouragement from something that was said in our time, just to continue to walk humbly and faithfully with God this week, and just go in his power and his grace. We're so glad that you guys have joined us this time. And we're going to take a break, and we'll be back. And I guess in a couple weeks, we'll be back with you. So thanks for joining us. Have a great time. We'll see you next time.